Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 17. I have noticed, watching a couple of different streams and a couple of different videos, that a lot of people are missing out on really helping out their crops quite a bit. So this is what I'm going to show you today. You go into your tab. That's the store. That's not what I want. I want this one. There we go. You go into this and you go into Farming Basics. You go down to Oil Radish Seed. For those of you that don't know this, I was just messing around going through all this stuff one day and I found this. Oil radish seed is a special crop. You don't have to harvest it at the end, but dig it in. So use your cultivator or whatever. If you have a combo cultivator planter, use that. But once the plants are visible, you can use a cultivator on your field. It's a so-called green manure, and it works as fertilizer, increasing your next yield by 30%. So that means, it adds 30% to your yield. Now let's go over the different things you need to do. I need to go back to this right there. Okay, so as you can see, this shows you your growth periods and all that kind of stuff. But this tab is soil composition. Shows you what is fertilized and what needs plowing. As you can see, 3 of my fields need plowing, and we're about to do that on 12. It probably doesn't need it, but I want to get all of them on the same rotation. So I'm going to do all of them at one time. After you plow, you plant the oil radish seed, and when the greens pop out of the ground, you can go ahead and plant or cultivate right over the top of it. And instead of this light blue fertilizer that you normally get when you just use your sprayer or whatever else, you get this dark blue fertilized. And that is great for increasing yield because just plowing it increases it by 10. And then you add an additional 30% by planting the oil radish seed and cultivating or cultivate planter, whichever you're using, right over the top of it. And then I've been told, since you can change your, and yes, plant withering is off before anybody says anything. I'm playing by myself, so it's really hard to get to all these fields before they die. But I still have everything else turned on. I'm buying seed and fertilizer at the moment, nothing else, because I can't afford to buy anything to haul fertilizer over to fill my tanks. And I actually have a mod downloaded, and I'll go through mods on a different video. A mod for placeables where you can have placeable liquid and solid fertilizers and seed bins next to your fields. So that's a great help so that you don't have to keep running back and forth to the store and grabbing more of the little bins that only hold 1,000 that they sell you. So I'm going to see how that works, but we're going to check that out in a whole different video. Don't even worry about it. So as you can see, periodic plowing required is on. So that means every 3 harvest you have to plow. Now, the oilseed radish is not counted in one of those harvests. So it's only after you physically harvest, from what I can tell. Planting it has not made me have to do it after every other one or whatever. So if I do the oilseed radish and then do like wheat and harvest that and then do oilseed radish again, I don't have to plow. It's 3 harvest. Fertilizer states is 3. You can set it to 1. All right, so if you set it to 3, between each growth stage of your plants, so you know that first stage is just the greens that pop up out of the ground. That's the first growth stage. So just call it wheat because it has the little yellow plants that pop up on it or whatever before it actually dies off and you harvest it as wheat. So you got the plants popping up out of the ground, that's your first stage, and then they're slightly taller, that's your second stage. Your third stage is when you see the actual bloom on the plant, that's your third stage. Now if you fertilize between each of those, it's supposed to increase yield by 30% each time. So you can get up to 130% yield, supposedly. I haven't actually done the numbers and made sure that that is 100% accurate. It may only go up to 100%, which is double the yield you get without doing any of that. And like I said, just plowing, you get 10%. So if you just plow every 3 harvests, you get a bonus, a 10% bonus in your yield. But if you use this oilseed radish technique, you automatically get a 40% bonus with your plowing. Now that's no extra fertilizer used, none of that. And it might actually be beneficial to go ahead and fertilize in 2 different floor states. I mean in growth states. So I'm gonna do a little plowing here, and I will be back with you in just a sec. All right, guys, we are back. I did hire a helper to plow the field for me. As you can see, they do leave little triangles out on the field. That's okay with me. I had other stuff I had to do while that was going on, so that's the problem with playing solo. So I'm going to drop that and go pick up the planter, and we're going to go take a look at this and show you what the oilseed radish can do for you. So after your field is plowed, you notice I didn't do the rest of them. I'm just doing one as an example. I'm doing the smallest one of the three here. I do have field 19 right over there. I think it's 19, which is also, which is also a very small field. I think it's actually smaller than this one. But we're going to open this guy up. F1 is the one I want. Push buttons and drive at the same time. I do not have a steering wheel set up yet. I plan on getting one. I really need one. If you can't tell, trying to back up with mouse and keyboard is kind of difficult. Either way, so we're going to set up here. And I'm probably going to do the same thing. I'm going to let them have it. But we want to hit Y on the keyboard to change our seed. Now, I don't think it says that. Maybe it says it here. Higher worker toggle map, exit, change. Attach, turn on sower, higher worker, lower sower, fold sower, map size. Doesn't tell you that. It tells you somewhere. Maybe if it's folded up, it tells you that. I'm not real sure. I have to go back and look at that. Let's see. Select seed, change seed, any of that? No. Change this and see if it doesn't. No. Okay. Either way, you can change the seed type. However, whatever control you're using, you can check it out and do that. So we want to change to that emblem right there. It's the blue one. It's very small. I know. I apologize. Nothing I can do about it. I don't know how to blow that up and make it bigger. I guess I could cut it out and blow it up on the screen. Whichever. It's the little blue emblem is your seed. The other bag is your fertilizer. If you buy this particular sower, then you will have both. We'll go over those in a whole different episode as well. Lots of things tie in together when you're trying to just show off one thing in this game. It's okay though. So that is Oilseed Radish right there. We're going to hit H, and we're going to let them do this while I go do something else. When this is done planting, I will be back with you, and we will see what state the crop needs to be in to be able to sow back over it, or to cultivate back over the top of it to dig it in and make your soil extremely fertile. So I'll be back with you guys in just a second. Thank you so much for hanging in with me. Should be like a snap of the fingers. This is a long process. It's not really a long process. I guess we could talk about that for a second. I say it's a long process. When you've got multiple fields to do, it seems like it takes forever, but it really does make a huge difference in the yield of your crop. When I started, I wasn't doing that, and I was going through the big field in the distance there. Which field is that? That is field 12. So that's the biggest one you start with. And when I was going through it with like wheat or barley, I wouldn't even empty my harvester. Like the harvester that you start with would go through 3/4 of the field before I would have to get, to empty it at all. So you really don't pick up a whole lot, unless you do fertilize and do all this other stuff and plow like you're supposed to and all that kind of stuff. So it really does make a huge difference. And now I have to empty it, I think 3.5 times on that one field. So, I mean, it definitely helps. So, I mean, you get just by plowing and then doing the oilseed radish. And since I've got this too, I'm also doing the fertilizer stage with it. So that adds a little bit more, I think, to fertilize on one stage of it. But either way, I'm getting half of what I was getting added on to. So 1.5 times what I was getting, which is extremely good when you talk about the time that you spend trying to get all this to work and to make money. Because when you first start off, chopping trees and doing logs is your best bet to make quick cash. Well, in this one, they did the side jobs. I have that video too. Check it out if you want to see how to make some quick cash. I say quick cash, some of the missions take you a long time, but versus the money that you make off of it, it's actually not that bad if you consider it. So this is a very good way to get a significant increase of the yield of your crop. So be back with you in a snap of the fingers. Alright guys, and we're done with the planting of the oilseed radish. So we're looking at 12:22 in game, and we're going to speed this up, and I want to see exactly how long this takes, because this is a big factor to most people as well. How long does it take versus just planting your crop and letting it go? So just planting the oilseed radish, it takes the same amount of time it takes to plant anything else. It's not that big a deal, but the growth time is what we're looking at. So I'm going to speed this up, and we're going to see how long it takes to... Actually, I need to go this way. To see how long it takes to actually produce. So, yeah. Alright, guys. Welcome back from that snap of the fingers, split second cut that I just did. As you can see, this took quite a long time in game. It's not too terribly bad, though. So we went from 1222 to 1800. So that's not too bad to get your growth out of your oilseed radish. So it actually doesn't take that much time. It's not that bad. I recommend doing it. I really do. I've never actually timed it until just now. So you're with me. We saw the time. Yeah, I mean, I don't see a problem here. What is that, 5.5 hours in game? That's not bad at all. You speed that up and it's done in no time. Alright, so now we're going to plant some wheat. And we're going to see our yield and see what happens. Quick little update as we're going here. As you can tell on the map, on the soil composition part of it, you see the dark blue and you see the light blue. The light blue was just the fertilized crop, because the planter that I'm using, the cultivator / planter that I'm using, also does fertilizer as it goes. So the light blue is here, right? And then the dark blue is here. So we skipped this whole section in between. That is your 3 stages of fertilization, I do believe. So maybe, just maybe, you can get away without doing it on each growth stage, but I doubt it, because it says do that and you get 100% yield, 100% more yield out of it. So I'm thinking you still might need to try that, but I don't know for sure. Either way, that's what we got. And I think I'm going to do 19 just like it sits, no fertilizer, no nothing. And or just the fertilizer that's in the planter, maybe. Like just the first thing of fertilizer, because you can buy the small one you put on the back of the tractor as you start out. And you can fertilize before you plant. So that might be what I do, because you cultivate, fertilize, and then plant. So this way, without plowing, we still get a more accurate sense of what we get out of each one. So that might be what I do. Alright guys, the first field's finished, so we're going to go over here and plant this one just like it sits. As you can see, it has not been plowed. It has not been fertilized. There's been nothing done to it. Let's take a look here. Let me show you here that it is still needs plowing. So this is going to be with just the fertilizer in the planter. So there we go. All right. The wheat is almost planted on the second field, and we're gonna, there we go. We're going to speed up, see how long it takes for the wheat to grow, see if it matters which one I planted first. I don't think it does, even with the plowing and all that kind of stuff. It shouldn't, but you never know. I'm gonna take this guy down here so I can clean it up. So now we get to find out which one yields the most. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill one up, and then we're going to see how much it is, and then we're going to empty it, and we're going to do the other field. And I widened the other field out with the plow, switched over to allow create fields. Will allow you to do that. And I widened that other field out, so it should be pretty close to the same size as the one right up here that we're we did the plowing and the extra stuff on, so it should make a difference. Should. I'm not gonna say it will. Do I have a fertilizer here? I don't think I actually have one around since I bought this thing. I was gonna try to fertilize between growth stages just to see on this one field to see if it made that much difference, but I guess I need to try it this way first. If my other findings are better, I will definitely let you know in a future video, so just keep an eye out for those. I'll probably tag it in the title as well, that way people will know when they click on it or before they click on it that this is definitely the one that says anything about the fields. So we were at roughly 1820, maybe 1830, I don't really remember. Either way, beautiful sunset going on, and we're waiting on crops to grow. This is a side note, it's 2220 and we were done at about 1820 with this one, and this field is already at its first stage. So now would be the time you would want to use the weeder, I think it's called. Let's go find it. The weeders, yes. This would be the time you want to use one of these. Weeders pull weeds out between small grown crops, improving the field's state. It can only be used in the first growing stage of crops. So that would be the stage that we're in right now. This way, if you're speeding up time, you'd want to stop it and use your weeder on all your fields to get rid of all the weeds. And it doesn't say how much it helps with the yield, but I'm gonna say it improves it somewhat. So it would definitely be helpful, you know, to try it. And like I said, if I do any other findings and that it changes, I will come back and do a whole nother video on using the weeders and everything that you can possibly do to improve your yield. This is a basic crop management video, just showing off the oilseed radish, because that's one of the simplest and easiest things you can do to improve yield on your crops. And from what I've seen, not a whole lot of people are doing it for some reason. I'm not sure why. So, all right, now 6 hours has gone by in game, and that field over there should be doing way better. Let's check it out on the field growth map here. The crop growth, fruit types growth. There we go. So growing, this one, they're almost the exact same. So planted that one, planted this one almost the exact same time, so no big deal. We're just gonna go ahead and save there, just in case, because you never know. Yeah, so waiting on it to grow again. Another side note, this is also where you'd want to do your first layer of fertilizer in your 3 stages of growth. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, I've been waiting a while. Apparently it takes a very long time for crops to grow. I've never really noticed because I've always been doing something else while they're growing. So yeah, that's what we're waiting on. I think we're approaching about the 15-hour mark in game. Whoop! There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Let's stop this because, as you can tell, Gomez Ridge Acres is offering quite a bit of money right now for soybeans, and it's still climbing. So I want to stop that, let it go up naturally, and I got some soybeans I need to drop off at some point. So let's find the time here and slow it back down. This one, there we go. Let's save again, because you never know. It's always good to save. All right, here we go. While this is doing this, I'm probably going to go drop off some soybeans and make me some cash. I don't have that many to drop off, but, you know, whatever helps, right? Oh, I forgot I still had that on. Yeah, I'm probably not even going to pick that up. So, I'm going to measure here. These fields are roughly the same length. They're almost the same width. I think if I went one more wide on either side, not both, they would be the same width. It'd be almost the same acreage exactly. So we're going to get a pretty close analysis of how much this does for you. It's not going to be exact, but it's going to be pretty close. And if I really wanted to do it, I could have done it in one field and sown half of it one way and half of it the other. But, you know, crops. I need them. I need the money. So we're going to let this do this. I'm going to go drop some soybeans off and make me some cash. And we'll see our findings shortly. All right. I got my sales out of the way there. I made about 28,000. That's not bad for 19,000 liters for the soybeans. There were places that had it for a little more, but, you know, it's okay. That place is just right across the field over there. It's pretty close, so no big deal. I also had some wheat at the train station I thought I'd bring back with me, but we're about to go check on our harvester over there and see how that guy's doing. And yeah, see what our yield is so far on the unplowed, unfertilized field. He is only at 61%, and looks like we got about 3 more passes to make here, so we'll come back to him in a minute. Alright, looks like our helper's finished his task, and I know I said I wasn't going to do this, but I feel like that's just leaving money laying on the ground. So we're going to grab the trailer, we're going to bring it over, and we're, oh, can't go that way, let's go this way, there we go. Wasn't paying attention to where I was going. We're going to grab the trailer and bring it over and see how much our non-plowed, non-fertilized, non-weeded field, how well it did for us. I'm going to say it's probably not that good considering I didn't have to empty it once. Not even once. He ran straight through the field with no need to dump whatsoever. So, as a matter of fact, I'm probably going to pull this guy right up here. We're going to cheat. We're going to drive the this one. There we go. 91%. So we almost. Oh, listen to that horn on that thing. Yeah, man. That's the button I wanted. We're going to drive this guy right on up here, and there's a little secret. If you put your uh-oh, we got too close to the tree that time. If you put the what's that? The header right on the edge of that concrete, it'll pick it right up over the tractor and the trailer. So we got to 91%. I can't remember exactly how much that was. Jump over here and find out before we dump it. And we'll go to the next field that was plowed, and we used the oilseed radish on. Remember, the field we just did had no oilseed radish and wasn't plowed, so this will give you an idea of the difference it makes. So that was 78.60. Keep that number in your heads for about a minute and a half, because I'm probably going to do a couple more cuts. But we're going to go ahead and empty this puppy. So 78.60. Hello? No more capacity for wheat. Is it full, or is this thing in the way? I think this thing might be in the way. But yeah, either way, keep that number in your head, 78.60 for about 2 minutes, and we'll find out what happens on this one. Well, see, this is a good example. We were about this far down on the other side, and he was at 3%. We're already at 10%, so let's hope that this makes a huge difference. If not, I'm going to feel really dumb. But it should make a big difference in the amount that the crop yields with the oilseed radish and the plowing versus the non-plowed straight crop to the ground with just the fertilizer. So we'll see. I guess this is a good opportunity also to see if maybe if the crop produces more, does it produce more straw swath? Because that would be interesting, wouldn't it? So again, this field is the one that had not been plowed and had no oilseed radish. It was just straight crop to the ground with just the first coat of fertilizer on it. And it looks like I might get 1.5 loads of the slightly larger trailer. I think this thing holds 31,000. No, it doesn't. 34,000. I can't remember exactly how much this thing holds, but either way, I guess we'll find that out too. So 32,000. That's how much it is. 32. No, 34,000. Maybe that's what it is. Either way, we'll find out. You can make some serious cash off of this stuff. I mean, that was like 5 runs across there. So 5 paths of straw swath, and it was $2,500. It took all of 2 minutes. Just saying, not a bad way to make some extra cash. Alright guys, as you can see off of that field, we got 34,000, which is a full trailer load, and then we got 13,275. So we got 47,275 off of that field. I'm going to go ahead and dump this, and we're going to see what we get off the other one to see if it makes a difference. I don't think it will, but it's worth checking out since we're doing an A-B. We can A-B both factors, and that will also tell you if you get more hay bales out of one or the other. So keep that in mind as well if you're doing hay bales. Well, that was quick. Seems we have our first, I missed that completely. We have our first full grain tank from a harvester. It looks like he might be a little over halfway finished. So, that's going to be 8,600, I think it is, right off the bat here. So, That's already more than the other field got total. So if that gives you an idea, you get about probably 25% more. 1, 2, 3. Looks like he's got 3 more runs. He did 6. So it looks like we're going to get about 50% more grain out of this. So that's a big deal. We'll see the final total when it happens. Go ahead and get 86. Okay, there we go. We'll call the 18 a gimme. So we got 8,600. The other one was what? 7620, 7860, 70. It was 70, a little over 7,500 somewhere. So either way, we know we got more. We'll just call it 7,500, and then we'll round this one off to an even number 2. I should have wrote that down. All right, guys, this is the moment of truth. Our harvester is just finished up. As you saw, I had to empty it once, and I haven't done anything with the trailer. We're gonna put this guy a task with plowing that real quick, and we're gonna check this out. I have been picking up the straw swath just because you make a little extra cash. What'd I do with the trailer? There it is. Let's go grab this guy, and we're gonna empty the harvester and see what we have total off of this field that is slightly larger. So I may round this one down slightly just to make up the difference. Because it is slightly larger, and like I said, you can't really look at the map and tell, but I did on field 19 widen it out by 2 full rows. So I widened it out by 6 meters, I think, total, which is a good bit when you start thinking about it. So think about it that way, it makes a big, huge difference. All right, we are up to 13,000 almost. So, are we going to get double? We got almost double. So if we round down to 13,000, that's still almost double the amount of grain for wheat that we got off the other field that is pretty close to the same size. So if that doesn't do it for you, I don't know what will. And I've already dumped this trailer once, and we'll go ahead and finish this AB up as well. I'm going to say that last row doesn't even count, because I think there were only 9 rows of straw swath on the other one. This will be 9 if I leave that last straw swath off. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. We have 34,000 on the first load, and we'll see what this comes to. So we're going to go ahead and talk about the differences in using the plow and the oilseed radish and fertilizer on your fields. We got almost double the amount we got off a field that was basically the same size versus not plowing, not using oilseed radish. So to me, is it worth it? 100% worth it. You get so much more for your time when you do it that way, because like I said, in game it only takes about 4 hours. No, not even 4 hours. 2.5 hours or so for the oilseed radish to grow, and all you need it to do is that plant pop out of the ground, that green. When as soon as it hits, you can start running your cultivator or running your cultivator / planter, your combo, whatever, over the top of it. You don't want to plow it after you do that. Of course, that negates anything you've done that turns the land over. So you definitely don't want to do that. The best I can tell, we ended up with what, 47,272 roughly, and I've already dumped 47 or 34,000. So 34 plus 17. Somebody do the math for me. 51,000. Is that right? 52,005. So call it 52,000. So it seems like you get slightly more of a straw swath. I need to turn that off so I can go faster. You get slightly more of a straw swath out of it too, it seems like. Now again, these fields are pretty close. They're not exact. They're close. And I think I even did a row across the bottom of field 19. Let's bring this up. So field 19 and field 15 are pretty close to the same size now, because I went down each side of field 19 and then the end closest to 24, as you can see there on the map. So I made it 1 row bigger on each side. That's 3 millimeters wide on each side, 6 mils total, and 3 millimeter longer with that plow. So what that goes to in acres, or what do they call it here? Use, whatever it is. I'm not sure of the word. Words, not good at them. But either way, as you can tell, you get slightly more straw swath, it seems like, but you definitely get more of your crop. And to me, that makes a huge difference. That is so worth it. I mean, it is so worth it to do. So if you're missing that little tidbit, this is a good A/B video to show off to people if they don't believe that that actually works. And I'm going to go ahead and finish this up and call it an end here. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If this video was helpful or you enjoyed it, please leave a like, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you need or want to see any more tips, tricks, or anything else, just hints on the game, I will do my best to put my time in and figure it out. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Later, guys.